Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Michael Wilkes, Angel Ortiz, Dr. Chad, and Sam La Cavera. Go check out beardedbrowns.com and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what is up, everybody? And Gary was supposed to do the intro, and again, instead of barking at me like he normally does to mess up my intro, he completely flops his today.
Well, I thought you were going to welcome everybody, and I told you that intro G. Bush. Welcome, everybody, to Bearded Browns. This is the Tuesday night show. Normally, you see me on this Saturday show for the Morning Brew, but I'm here Tuesday night. Angel couldn't be with us. He is down with his family at Disney World, but tonight I am subbing in, and we have a very special guest tonight. Now, Cleveland Browns fans, if you're watching Cleveland Browns stuff and, you know, you are taking up all of the you're getting all the Cleveland news and you're getting all of the Cleveland opinions, you know who we have here on the bottom left square here. This is the leader of the Cool-Aid Mafia. He gives you the fastest 30 minutes in sports. He is the proprietor of the Barbershop. He is the co-host of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Ladies and gentlemen, G. Bush, welcome to Bearded Browns tonight, man.
I want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank y'all for having me, man. I feel bad. I got to step my game up, man. These intros is getting out of control. This intro was crazy. I felt like I was about to go back and power clean. I felt like I needed to do some back squats and get some chalk together, because all my D-line friends is like, man, that's a kick-ass song to, you know, start your intro to. So shout out to you guys, and I feel like I should have a beard, but I can't grow one, so this is all.
Why not?
I
don't even have one anymore. So if I didn't even have one anymore, then you get built-in excuse.
So I'm glad to be with you guys, man. Hey, listen, I always tell people, man, if you're watching, man, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're going out to support independent media. Making sure you show love, and you know what? I love independent media. So when you guys ask me to show up, I'm like, here we go, let's do it.
You're the man. You are the man. You're like the Sunday drive that everybody looks forward to. I forget something. I got to go to the store. 92.3 it is. Boom. There you are. It's great.
Man, you know, shout out to the fan, man. Like, you know, it was crazy. It's like, you know, before, you know, I transitioned. By the way, I still work at 92.3 the fan. I just can't find enough time to, like, my goal is I'm going to just pull up. Like, I'm waiting to, like, the off season sometime and I'm going to just show back up and be like, yeah, still got keys to the building. I'm going to pull up and I'm going to go. I got to go talk to Lyman, Ken, and shout out to Jonathan Peterlin and Nick Wilson and everybody, and my guy Earl the Pearl and Spencer. Shout out to everybody on there, man. Baskin and Phelps. So yeah, definitely got it. That's where I got my chops from,
love Earl the Pearl, man.
Yeah.
I got to wait on him one time at Wink and Lizard in Beechwood.
Oh, really? Was he a good tipper?
Oh, he's a good tipper. He's a good dude.
Okay. All right.
He was out there with a lady, you know what I mean? So I had to make sure I bought him a drink so she knew that he was the stuff, you know what I mean? had to take care of him while he was out there.
I feel you, man.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, it's great having you on here, man. You guys do a really good job out there. I love, you know, what you're doing with independent media. Not only do you have you got the Barbershops, you do it on 92.3, but then also on YouTube, you got an offshoot of that. And it's not just you on the Barbershop, right? You got a couple different shows now that are offshooting on the Barbershop. What do you have going on there?
Yeah. So listen, so I got two shows. So I got a show called The Final Cut is with me, Tyvis Powell, who is a former Ohio State Buckeye national champ, Cleveland Brown, works for Cleveland Browns Radio Network, works for the Big Ten Network, and works for the Fan down in Columbus. And then my guy Earl the Pearl, fellow Ohio Media School graduate. He was the producer for the Barbershop. Transitioned to it. He's a host now, and he's a producer, Emmy Award winning producer for Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. So I said, man, listen, we all hit it off, and we've been doing a lot of offshoot stuff. So we got a show called The Final Cut that's every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And then I did another show called Top 5, where it's a family show. So I got a show with me, my two brothers. I got a rotating panel with my mom, my dad, and my sister-in-law. And the show is run by my wife. And we talk about top 5 lists. So all we do is top 5 lists. So we'll do top 5 Browns you're most, looking forward to, top 5 worst fast food restaurants. We do all these. It's a fun thing. We do those Sunday at about 2 p.m. So we do those shows as well. And then you get the Barbershop on Saturday morning about 9 o'clock. We do some members only stuff too. And so we just do a lot of stuff, variety stuff. I got, I do shopping and grocery shopping and fashion blogs and going to different places. So we try to just give people a lot to just choose from and just make it fun.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And definitely enjoy it. And, your YouTube channel over the last year, that thing has grown exponentially. So it's been really cool watching that happen. Seeing all the people in the comments there. You definitely work hard, and it's awesome watching people who work hard and are good dudes. It's awesome watching you grow, man. That's
what it's about. I like to, I always talk about independent media. And I got into independent media, basically around time of COVID. There was a lot of people who were stuck in the house and didn't know what to do. And everybody was looking around and depressed, and we were quarantined. And I think I call this the independent media revolution. Players started talking, parents started talking. We actually started finding out that we got a lot in common when we're stuck in the house. So I think that was the beginning of it. And I just think in terms of the independent media, it's so funny because I think nowadays there's so many people that's more plugged in to independent media than there are maybe even regular mainstream media. And I worked in both. But I just like the fact that it's a community type field, and I feel like it's something where people, it's a new gathering spot, new watering hole. Maybe it's not a bar, maybe it's not a book club, but it's somewhere that's fun that people can kind of gather and talk about like-minded things.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead, bud.
Before we get into the Brown stuff, obviously the Cavs fell short, very, very short. And I know you're an avid Cleveland fan. I want you to sum up the Cleveland Cavaliers in 3 words.
Man, this is tough. I'm gonna say,
I feel like you just did it. This is tough.
Overall nasty work. That's what it is. Overall nasty work. Just, my goodness, how and then I hear Kenny's back. And you know me, I'm not the guy that just wants to get rid of everybody all the time, but I'm like, man, we got embarrassed, man. To see the New York Knicks fans just take over our mezzanine, just doing all kind of funny stuff. It's just, to me, I just wanted them to have a little more fight, man. Listen, if you want to lose, that's fine. Maybe if I ain't got a problem, playing in college and playing in high school, if you lost to a better team, that's great. Cool. As long as you went out there and you left it all on the court, you went by the game plan, you tried to accomplish the game plan to the best of your physical ability, we can deal with that in life. As long as you went to work, that's half the battle. You got up this morning. Half the battle was going in and put an honest day's work. I ain't feel like they put an honest day's work in, man, guys. It just didn't see it.
And I'm not a fire everybody guy either, but especially with what you saw, and I know this is not a Cavs show, but when you got Sam Cassell out there, somebody that you could bring in here with the pedigree, a dude out there that outworked everybody, I just don't know how you keep Kenny.
You see, it's so many things. This is the problem. When you get behind the scenes, you be knowing a few things, and then you be like, man, I'm independent though too. Here's the thing. I think Dan really went to bat for Kenny. I think Kenny was a guy that was a guy who wanted to see it through. And now it's tough because you don't want to be the dude that says, okay, well, we gave JB Bickerstaff all this time, and then we finally let him go. We gave him 2 years, a year. He was just coach of the year. And the thing you don't want as an owner to be like, yeah, you just fired the coach of the year, and you made a major trade in the beginning, in the middle of the year where you didn't have a time to really adjust to get things going. But I will say this: if they kept Kenny, there's going to be some major changes with the roster. I'm just figuring out how creative they can be with the cap ramifications and whether or not they can do it. But I do think the roster will change. Harden and Donovan Mitchell will probably be back as well. Just the financials of it make sense, and they can't do anything. Harden has a player option. Mitchell is, you've already moved Garland and everything else to even get to where you are. So it'll be fun to watch. Everybody's on LeBron watch now too, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, you need a coach in there you need a coach in there that's going to be, drawing plays during timeouts. And I know for a fact that during game 6 last series, he didn't draw a single play during that timeout.
Chad, I would like to have him just call a timeout. That's all I want. Maybe when you're up 23 or 24, maybe we call a timeout there just to get the troops together. He took all those timeouts to vacation. He took those to Put in Bay. He has all his timeouts from game 1. He has all his adjustments and best plays from game 6 that we never got to. We never got to 6 or 7. It went in 4. So hopefully Kenny learns from this, because this is nasty. It's just nasty work.
Couldn't agree more.
It's weird to say too, in this situation, in the context of like, it's weird to make it this far, and then the criticism is like the team was just didn't show up. But I think Gary kind of hit it on the idea, or you did, G. Bush, on the, but then you faced a team that's not better than you, and then they made you look foolish, and so it's hard to make it. I mean, I'm dreaming for the Browns to make it to a AFC Championship game, so it's hard to like find a scenario where a team can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and still like you have all this right to criticize them because something went so wrong. Like they're in such a rare situation where they can make it that far, and you can still look at them and go, what were you doing?
It's like getting like you've been in medical school. Come on, doc, you make it through undergrad, you get through all the residency hours, and then you finally get there, and it's your first day in the emergency room, and you pass out and somebody's bleeding. Bro, you wasted all that education. Like you can't, if you, hey, listen, you should have went into another profession. If you can't see a little blood, I mean, we're in trouble here. You done got all these student loans. It's crazy. You didn't. It's like the Cavs is the most expensive team in the league. Like they are the most expensive team in the league, and you made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is gonna be great. At least we made it this far. Donovan's out to second round, and then you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. You play a Knicks team, and you're like, what just happened? I just felt like yesterday. I thought we were, what happened here?
Like the Browns were the best analytical team in the East.
Listen,
they made the analytical finals.
Listen, shout out to, I don't know if all you OU Bobcats out here. Hey, listen, man, I did that a couple of times during the Morton Hall too. I thought I was going to be in Morton Hall taking my math. I had all the analytics ready to go. I had my TI 86 ready to go. By the way, you think that, by the way, they've outlawed all those. Like without TI 86 and 83 and me listen, I don't know how I graduated. I'm going to just be honest with you, bro. And AI is out now. Please listen. Are you serious? Like, what are we doing here? But they had all the answers when it was on paper. But when you're looking at another team that is primed and ready to go, it's a different thing. And I guess that's why you play the games.
Yeah.
They lost the whole series in game 1. I mean, I guess we shouldn't stay on the Cavs, but it just felt like they lost the whole series in 5 minutes of game 1.
When you get, that's called, you got your soul. Like you really lost a part of you there. Because when you drop a 23-point lead, it kind of reminds me of kind of transitioning to the Browns. It reminded me of the game where, remember when the Cleveland Browns was playing the Jets and they had a 99.9% statistical game. It was airtight. We just scored a touchdown, and then Joe Flacco just walked I've never seen it
Like
was
3
that
minutes left or something.
seconds,
It's like it,
I thought you were going to talk about Dwayne Rudd throwing his helmet after we had won.
That one
Because that was, I think, 99% too, right?
yeah, that was one of those too. Like,
Yeah, man.
Or just the time. It's crazy. The time that we only lost to the Jets because we got a punt returned and a kickoff return, or the time Ed Reed ran it back. Look, we got a lot of these.
He's got a lot of them in Cleveland.
Yeah.
well, now we got one for the Cavs, which is sad though, because like they just haven't had those kind of. We've had these devastating injury-based ones where it's like, well, Kyrie didn't go down. We'll see what would have happened. Or the last 2 years, I kept thinking, man, if they can just get into the playoffs healthy and stay healthy, they can make such a run. And this was that year where they were healthy and they just got manhandled.
Yeah. Well, listen, we talked about it a little bit. This just goes to show you have to finish business. They talked about, hey, those 6 games we win against Detroit and the 7 games. So they went 7 twice against the Pistons and against the Raptors. And I tell people all the time, man, it sounds good, but every time you take another snap or every time you take another dribble, you never know what's going to happen. And the thing is, the Cavs look worn down. James Harden was 36 for real in real life. And it just seemed like Donovan Mitchell couldn't explode past people. He couldn't get past people in the first dribble. And those extra games and the weeks off for the Knicks really came back to rear its ugly head. So, that's part of the game. And when you put yourself behind the 8 ball and you play all those games, you got to finish the first 2 rounds out when you can. You lose game 6 at home and then have to go on the road and win in Detroit. That takes its toll on you.
Absolutely, it does.
For sure.
Guys, we're going to switch over to some Brown stuff. And Gary, I'll let you start it off with the first question.
Yeah, for sure. So talking about, everyone's talking about the quarterback, right? That is the big topic here with the Cleveland Browns. And looking at the outlook, for 2026, you're looking at how the national media talks about it and how the local media talks about it. And you have lots of podcasts out there talking about what's going on here in Cleveland. What do you make of the way it's being covered, nationally versus locally?
Well, listen, I think when you look at it, I always say from a standpoint of just analyzing like the game in general, I think the local media kind of takes the direction from the national media. So you have a quarterback battle right now between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. Now, the funny part about it is that you got 2 different factions where there's a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily want to see either one of them play. So,
sure.
It's always funny where I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be great, man. It's great for content because there's a lot of people that's like, listen, 99% of the people like, listen, we do not want to see Deshaun Watson play no more. We've seen this. They bring up memories. First of all, I always tell people there's 25% that don't like him because of the allegations. There's another 25% that don't like him because they think he was the reason Baker Mayfield got ran out of town. There's another 25% that don't care about any of that. They just think, hey, we gave up 3 first-round picks and we paid you all this money. Hopefully you're good. So when all 3 of those things happen, you only end up with about 10% of the population that would care to see him play. And those are the hardcore pragmatist football guys that are just like, okay, well, we've already sunk some costs into him. Maybe there's a small hope we can get back to what he is. And maybe that this head coach is going to bring something out of him we didn't know. I've always come at it from a perspective of, well, look, you got to look at it 2 ways. You do have $239 million sunk. Guess what? You do have a new head coach who's here, and you have to give him an opportunity to pick who he wants. And the only way you can do either or and to give him a really something to be said about who he is as a head coach is to let him pick who he wants. And so he came in, he's talked about, hey, let's have a quarterback competition. Now, this is where the funny thing happens. You now have Deshaun Watson over here. You got Shedeur Sanders over here. Now, a lot of what Shedeur Sanders is, if you look at the resume and you look at it, now people are like, Shedeur did fall to the 5th round. I don't really know. He showed some things good and bad, and I think he has some spark in him. So there's now a point where I think a lot of people that were watching the Browns probably didn't want Deshaun Watson to play and thought Shedeur Sanders left a lot to be desired.
Mhm.
But now when you go back and look at it from their perspective, now it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess Shedeur don't look too bad now. Like, I'll take Shedeur. Like, I mean, can we, I mean, maybe he gets us out of the Watson deal. So I think the national media is kind of like, I don't know. Are you going to get something from Deshaun Watson? And you already spent the money. So let's see what he can do. And from a local perspective, it's kind of like, okay, well, listen, we got Shedeur Sanders. I think that the local media is like, nah, I'm looking at, I need to find another quarterback. I think that they would not want either one of them. I think the goal is to get to 2027 in their mind and get another quarterback. So the problem with that happening on one line and one track is you got a first-time head coach who wants to win. So that throws a monkey wrench in it. You got a general manager who's had 2 good drafts class back-to-back. And he's like, yeah, we all are aware that you thought you might, with Kevin Stefanski was gone. There's a lot of people that said, well, if Kevin's gone, you got to be gone too. So he also has to continue to win games because the owner said 5 wins was not good enough for Kevin. Kevin got fired after 5 wins, right? So I don't think you can come into this situation thinking that, okay, well, maybe I can win 5 again. Nah, so he has to win. And then you got Deshaun Watson on his track record trying to resurrect his career because, you know, at the end of the day, if this doesn't work out well, he's looking to get another gig somewhere else, given his track record or what his health is, given how he's played, and given all of the other things that come with it. This might be his last road, right? And then you got Shedeur Sanders, who's fighting to be a 5th-round pick that's trying to really make a name for himself in this league and to prove people that he has game more than what his name is, right? He's out here trying to prove what he is on the football field and to show he needs to be a franchise quarterback. So I think when you mix all up and you put them all in camp, I think you're going to have a box office. It's going to be very interesting in training camp.
I tell you what, from what I've seen from Shedeur, there have been quarterbacks that I've seen from other teams since I was a kid make throws where you're like, man, I wish I could have a Cleveland Browns quarterback make that throw. And there is a particular throw that he made to Jerry Jeudy. There was an interception, and I know everybody knows what this throw is, right? The guy ripped out, I don't remember even who it was against. He ripped right out of Jerry Jeudy's hands. But that throw, Chicago Bears, that touchdown is that throw. And we have been waiting as Cleveland Browns fans for a quarterback to make that throw. And you got a guy that can make that throw. You know, all this other stuff, I just kind of feel as if you can coach all this other stuff. You can coach your reads, right? You can coach footwork. If you're worth your weight in salt, you're an NFL coach. Coach the guy to do all this other stuff. You can't coach that throw. And he's made several of those throws throughout the year. Maybe not that exact one, but that throw to Jerry Jeudy, you've never, in my lifetime, I've never seen a Cleveland Browns quarterback make. Not Deshaun Watson, not Baker Mayfield, not Vinny Testaverde, not Todd Philcox. You know what I mean? None of these guys.
Boy, hey man, here's what I'll say, man. Everybody know where I stand on, man. Listen, I'm a wrist up Shedeur Sanders guy, bro. Let me just tell you this, and I'm a wrist up guy, not because people get dismissed. I like where you're going with that. People say, oh man, you bought into, you know, the Coach Prime effect, and his name is big. I said, listen, man, I liked him coming out of college. I stand on what I said. I said, hey man, at the time we were looking around and said, okay, are you going to take Travis Hunter? Or you know, what are you going to do? You'll take Travis Hunter. You got Shedeur Sanders. The Browns had number 2 pick, right? And I told them I would be comfortable if the Browns took him in 2nd overall. And it wasn't based on whether I liked him or his father playing in the league or I was starstruck. I said, man, we didn't have stars all here all the time. We had Baker Mayfield. He was a big star. We had Deshaun Watson. He was a crazy star. We had Odell Beckham Jr. We still got Myles Garrett. It ain't about that. I'm talking about what I see on the football field. The thing I saw on the football field was what you just said. It was the accuracy. It was the fact that he played for a school that was one game, two games. They won one game one year, no offensive line. And all he did is come from Jackson State and came to a Power 5 school and literally won the Davey O'Brien Award. He had a receiver win the Heisman. I seen him play against Caleb Williams. I saw him play against Power 5 schools. I saw him make crazy throws, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, when he got here, you know, I go back and forth with a lot of my colleagues because they say, oh, man, he's the worst quarterback worst quarterback. I say, listen, man, I seen Jackson Dart throw for 33 yards in a game. Like, it gets tough out here for a rookie. Now, does he have some things that he needs to work on? Sure he does. Getting rid of the ball on time, pocket awareness, understanding what the defense is going to do to him. I said, all those things are things you need to work on. But the things that I can build upon is the throws and the accuracy. I can build on the fact that he didn't play a particularly great game against the Cincinnati Bengals at the end of the year. But guess what? He did what he needed to do. He got a game-winning drive to put him in position to win that game. Hey, he didn't play particularly great a lot of games, right? But I did see him roll out to the left and throw a bomb to Isaiah Bond. He had two great throws down the middle of the field to Isaiah Bond against the Bears. One to Jerry Jeudy, he hit him, but he also has some tough throws. For me, I always say this, and then being a little long-winded here, but to me, I think that the upside of playing Shedeur Sanders over the upside of Deshaun Watson is just evident. If Deshaun Watson plays well, it's a good chance that he doesn't come back and play for your team, regardless of whether or not you decide that you want to, I don't think he comes back and plays here. If you get Shedeur Sanders and he's a 5th-round contract and he plays good and plays well enough to be a franchise quarterback, look where you put yourself. You put yourself in a position where you can use those draft capital to go get somebody else and bolster the team around him. And even if you have Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur does win the competition, I'm not sitting here saying turn a blind eye and never go look at a quarterback. The reality of the quarterback position in the league is if he doesn't play well this year, you know what they're going to do. They're going to go in the draft and get another quarterback. That's just the reality. But at least give him the opportunity to win the position fair and square on the field. And as a football player, that's all you can ask for.
And G, everybody in Cleveland wants somebody in Cleveland that wants to be in Cleveland. They want a Clevelander. Let me tell you something. Northeast Ohio is a small place, right? We all got friends that like do different stuff. I got buddies that are friends and friends of plumbers, right? Mm-hmm. Shedeur Sanders lives in Northeast Ohio. You know what I'm saying? In the off season, he lives here. I got friends of a friends that have gone and worked on this guy's house. Do you know what he's doing at night? He is living in Northeast Ohio playing video games, working on his playbook. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude, you got a guy here who, this isn't a dude of everything else, right? You don't got to worry about him going out at night. You don't have to worry about this dude being new to money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude wants to be here, wants to be your guy. He is studying. He is out there doing all the stuff that you want your quarterback to be doing. He's got the arm talent that you've always wanted a guy to have. You know what he has? He has a dad who held up the NFL against Major League Baseball when he got drafted. That's what he has. He has a dad that was loud in the 90s when dudes like him weren't allowed to be loud. And that's it.
I talked to, and I had an opportunity, and shout out to Coach Prime for giving me the opportunity and showing independent media love and coming up and doing the exclusive interview. And the thing that I took from Coach Prime was there's a lot of things that the glitz and the glamour will show. But the thing that I appreciate with him is talking just straight football with me, 20 minutes off the record, right? Just talking about X's and O's. And the thing that really shone through was, he's a dad that wants the best for his son, but he also came across as a person that does not want anything given to him. Mm-hmm. He's extremely competitive. Their family is extremely competitive. And the thing he said is that, hey, look, when he graduated and he got his degree, he brought his cleats. He had already worked out during that day. he stayed in Cleveland, as you pointed out, and he's been there the whole time. He does what he needs to in the community. The first thing he did when he got here was go to different schools. He continues to go to schools and just show love. And everything you see of him is him putting the work in. So for me, I think the biggest thing that stood out is, hey, Deshaun Watson has done some great things in this league. He's been a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's a first-round draft pick. This guy, at one point in time, I think everybody can agree, was a top 5 quarterback, at least in the league in his prime with the Texans. He said, hey, look, we can go out there and compete. I know Shedeur is going to go compete. And the cool thing about it is I think Shedeur actually has a person who actually believes in his skill set and says he's come a long way in terms of night and day in his skill set and his progression in Todd Monken. So I'm excited for it, man. I'm ready to see the preseason games. I'm ready to see the practices. I'll be out there during training camp. So I'm ready for a good competition.
Yeah. And listen, we don't want you to get any smoke here, but
that's what we invite. The smoke always comes. Like, it is what it is. My name is Bush. So G. Bush always likes to smoke.
But, after you did that interview with Prime, there was some chatter about some of the local media not being happy about the interview. Did any of that backlash reach you directly?
No, I always say this. It's like, so when you're in this, it's great because I find myself to be in the middle ground. Like, I'm a little big brother, right? Because when it comes to independent media, I've been doing this for a long period of time. So I've been doing it for years and years and years and years. I mean, since we talked about it, since I think I interned at ESPN Cleveland in 2010. So, that's when I really started my career. But in terms of being on TV and doing some of the mainstream things, I started working for the Bleacher Report about 4 years ago. I obviously UCSS came along with Tegden and WKYC. So some of those things I went viral with the DeMar Hamlin thing. So that's about my mainstream history is maybe 5 or 6 years. So anytime you do an interview like that, you're going to be, sometimes you might be a man without a country. And what I mean by that is, in terms of independent media, there's probably a lot of people who've probably, either followed Coach Prime or done content on Coach Prime that may have thought, and they may be well deserving of an interview, but, I got the interview. So, in terms of that, I don't look at it as anything I did. I just look at it as a blessing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And whatever God got for you, he got for you. So I just went into it and did the interview to the best of my ability. But I also will say that, there's probably people and outlets that our mainstream outlets that probably thought, well, how does this independent dude get one? G. Bush, why is he getting an interview? Why didn't we get the interview? So now you work on one side, you work on the other side, and they might think listen, you got both sides thinking a little bit. Well, maybe I don't know what makes him so special. And then you got people who, you you got different energy when you're an underdog. I've been, I got a championship belt. They say I'm the people's champ because that's where I came from, because the people put me on a situation where that's the only people that would say, hey, put G. Bush on the fan. We need more G. Bush. We need more. And sometimes what'll happen is, it's cool when you're the underdog, but if you start moving, it's always that thought process. Okay, it's like your favorite band. Your favorite band is on SoundCloud, right? And you've been rocking with them at small venues in a house of blues, and then all of a sudden, on a third album, they put out an album, and you're like, this thing went double platinum. But it's commercial songs on there. It's radio. They on the radio now. Now you feel a little way. You're like, hold on. Why's my favorite band on the? I'm glad for the exposure, but it just don't feel right. I don't like my next door neighbor who don't know nothing about this music pounding this music now. I don't know how I feel about this. It ain't authentic. And sometimes it's like you find your place in a space where it's kind of uncomfortable. But I always say like this, man, as long as you are staying authentic to who you are, and as long as I truly believe what I'm saying, if I'm on the television or if I'm on here, Like, people want to see if G. Bush gonna say the same thing I say with the bearded. He's on with 3 bearded white guys. I want to see if he keep the same energy, right? And you know what? The great part about it is, if you keep the same energy, I'm cool. I can sleep well at night because I know I stood on business, and I this is how I feel. I don't just fake it. This is how I really am. And I think if you out there listening, or you independent content, just do you. Keep putting out the content. Keep putting out how you feel. And if you can sleep with yourself at night, and you really like can just hone in and be like, man, as long as God is cool with what I'm doing, and I'm out here, and my family loves me, and I'm putting out content that I believe in, I'm okay with it. I'll let the chips fall where they may.
That's why I love you the most, man. You're sincere, you're humble, and you're just awesome person in general. I listen to you because you speak your mind. That's what a lot of people don't do. So again, I appreciate you coming on, man. And you got our YouTube comments blowing up, and everybody that's on there, make sure you guys subscribe. Help us out. That's awesome. Appreciate you guys.
No doubt. Please, hey, make sure y'all like and subscribe too. Make sure y'all sharing this. Stop playing around. Hype the video. Hype the video. Like and share. Come on now. Where's the likes? We got to get these likes up. We need the likes up right now, man.
Get them up. Get them up.
Get them up.
Get them up.
I'm gonna give Chad the next question here.
I'm convinced. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to like this right now.
Chad, I'll give you the next question, man. I know you've been aching to get something out.
No, I mean, I'm not aching that hard, but you know, I think one thing that was coming up anyway was with Gary was, you know, we have a quarterback problem in Cleveland. There's no denying that. We also kind of have a fan quarterback problem in Cleveland. And so you've already kind of highlighted that not many people are on board with Deshaun Watson right now. And I think unless you're not too bright, you've already highlighted the reasons why the best way for this to work out for all of us is Sanders, you know, winning this competition, taking the reins and going. I guess my actual question would be that we don't know what's going to happen. And whichever one of those things happens, what are these two quarterbacks with so much like vitriol playing here have to do to actually win over Cleveland fans? Because we are not easy to warm up to any quarterbacks at this point. And these two are as hard to warm up to as anybody for a lot of different reasons.
They've turned on everybody since Bernie.
It's a very good question, because I've had the opportunity to either interview or talk to or, interact with a lot of the Browns quarterbacks. If you go back and watch, right, it ain't just Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson. I mean, it came a point where Tim Couch, they cheered for Tim Couch, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, when he got hurt, that was a thing. Tim still talks about like how that being the #1 overall pick for the organization. And then think about it. For the Browns, we get people that come here, something happened to them, and then they just done. Tim never played. He had shoulder injuries. He played for the Packers for a little bit. You talk about the Kelly Holcomb thing. We don't talk about quarterback competition. Come on now. Kelly Holcomb was the guy that was people cheered. We used Tim Couch and Kelly Holcomb against one another, where it was like Kelly Holcomb was like, man, I just, like me and Tim, we would see each other every single day, and we had to support one another. But it was like, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world. Hey man, look, Colt McCoy's dad was like, listen, you got my son knocked out against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, yeah, put him back. They started league concussion protocols because of Colt McCoy got knocked silly. So, like, it's not just one of them. And then, come on. Like the thing is, I think what's so tough with us is, and a lot of people that just came around, because there's a lot of people that followed Shedeur from Colorado, right? A lot of people, I mean, this is weird. I didn't have been on Bill Simmons, and I don't know why he had me on. I'm like, for what? Why would you put me on the air? He's like, what's going on with Baker? What happened with that? I said, listen, man, I don't care if you was black, white, you was Hispanic, you was anybody, you was rich, poor. No, when Baker Mayfield came out and when they played the Jets and when he came off them sidelines and he threw that strike to Jarvis Landry and then he had the Philly special where he was a throwback, he caught it in the end zone and the beer coolers open when you couldn't. I'll go back and always tell people, I got my blogs, I keep all of them. I was like, listen, love at first sight. That was the thumbnail because he was the dude that I said, oh, he embodies what it is. He embodies the get off my lawn. We don't care. We ain't about to take it no more. He had the brashness. He was like, whatever. He was cocky. But the thing about it was he was playing. So it didn't matter if you was black, white, whatever in between. We gravitated to it. And I call it like it was almost like since Bernie, this was your first time. This was like breaking up with your college girlfriend. You're like, hold on. Like it hit a little different. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what. I broke up with my college girlfriend. I got engaged one time, broke that off. I got a divorce because of that. I'll go back to her. With your college girlfriend, in real life, and dead serious in real life. Shout out to my new wife, Rosie. Shout out, hey, honey. But man, when you swing and miss like that, and I didn't even say swing and miss, it was a nasty divorce. It's so nasty that Baker Mayfield had to come out against Kevin Stefanski and say, I can't wait to play him. Think about it. He'd been in Tampa Bay for 3 years. I got people, Jay Crawford, still, there was people that I worked with in the industry that went and got Baker jerseys for the Panthers. And so the long-winded answer to whatever we're saying is this. Sometimes the way you look at people now is because of the baggage that you was carrying before. And I think a lot of what happened with the Cleveland Browns fan base is we carrying baggage because Baker, for the most part, has been really good in Tampa Bay. And at least when you sitting around talking about it, you kind of want your girlfriend. You don't want your ex-girlfriend to be winning. You're like, bro, she done upgraded. She done got, she in shape. You can't say she got a great job. And guess what? You met her new husband in the bar and he was a nice guy. What the heck you gonna do with that, man? You don't want to see that happen. So I think for us, until somebody else comes along that can unite both sides, and I think if you watch and you look and you say, well, Shedeur Sanders is very popular. Outside of Cleveland, there's a lot of people that gravitate to him. He's a good dude. If he gets the opportunity in runway, if he performs well, he has enough of what I call star power. He has enough what I call the skill set to actually can consistently play like that. And he actually has the youth and runway where people can get behind him. It won't happen overnight. There'll be some naysayers and he'll have to do some things. Because remember, Baker didn't really get that level until he went in Pittsburgh and did what he did. Remember? He went in Pittsburgh and won that playoff game. That changed a lot of things. So I think that this long story short is you got to get the right personality. You got the personality. Let's see if he can perform and get enough wins and runway to unite the fan base.
Do you think that the Browns fans can sour that before he really gets a chance to do that, though? I mean, how much do the Browns fans affect the performance on the field and then the negativity that they have?
I think too, and I've been beating the drum for this a little bit. We gotta get around. Did you see the way the Knicks played?
Yeah.
Did you see the energy they played with? They was playing with every legend on their back, every single legend. The Patrick Ewing, the John Starks, the Oakley, the Latrell Sprewell, Stephon Marbury, from every generation. You watch them people, they drove, they came, they showed up. When you get your fan base behind you, it's a different story. I started the Cool-Aid Mafia because I said that Joe Flacco was going to throw for 300 off the street. They turned around and laughed at me and said, G. Bush, you done lost your doggone mind. That's why I got the knee-jerk. And guess what? Flacco came in that first game when he was against the Rams. I said, oh, shoot. Flacco still got a little something in there. And think about the transition and the trajectory of that team. It went from Deshaun Watson being injured to we were down in the dumps to you got Joe Flacco. And then where we were with the Jets game when it was on a Thursday night football and the stadium was packed. Think about the PJ Walker game when we had no business beating the 49ers. That's how much your crowd can mean to you. And if you go back and watch them old games, go back and watch the old dog pound where guys was getting off of shifts from working in the steel factory. Coming over, they might have not had coffee in the flask. It was a little something extra. It was they got that flask, they went to the game, they went to the Muni Live, and they turned around, got their lunch pail, and went back and did a double. But they all loved the Browns, all of them, men, women, everybody. It was a Browns town, and you can feel it. Right now, there's a disconnect between the players. There's a disconnect between the players and the media. There's a disconnect between the media and the fan base. And we got to somehow go about repairing that. And sometimes it just takes a perfect storm to get it done. But I love your point. We also have to cultivate that energy to be places like Green Bay where you just feel like Green Bay is good every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this year is going to be something to look forward to. Obviously, you're going to see culture change. The coaching staff has changed. I don't mind seeing Shedeur out there. We obviously want to win games, so the best man. We all have agreed on the show, the best man forward. But I like Shedeur. He's younger. He's got talent, and that could be seen this year. The schemes could change in his favor. You never know that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. What my question is to you is, what are you looking forward to most coming into this year?
I'm looking forward to Todd Monken. I think he's a breath of fresh air. I think the way he goes about just his messaging is fresh. What he says, like he comes on and he comes off as a every man's man. And the thing I can respect about him is I can say last year, I don't think that Shedeur was given a real opportunity to be the starting quarterback. And some would say, I would have been fine with it if they just said, hey, it ain't an open competition. But they said it was open competition. It really wasn't. So now Todd Monken has come in and he said, listen, hey, we tried to draft you in Baltimore. He says, hey, you know what? I like what he has. He has some playmaking ability. And I like the fact that he also says he likes some aspects of what Deshaun Watson is. And the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is, and I do film breakdowns and all this other stuff. Todd Monken is done it in multiple places. He's won 2 national championships at Georgia. He's Stetson Bennett. He's used different formation and variations of getting guys open. He was the offensive coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, we've seen Lamar Jackson up close and personal a lot in this division, and we know what he's done to us. And so he's had a track record of working with these quarterbacks, and I'm just looking forward to him being able to put the quarterback and developing quarterbacks, because I think there's a misconception that these players are finished products. No. You actually have to develop somebody. It's a developmental. I mean, Doc, I keep giving you, mentioning you here, but it's a certain thing called hours that you got to have in the lab, right? You just don't pull up and say, yeah, let me just work on somebody. Nah, man. You gotta be developed into something. And the quarterback position is one of the most difficult positions in the world to play. You got 2.5 seconds to figure out what another grown man is planning on doing to you if you don't get rid of the football. And I think you have to be a little bit of you got to be a little counselor. You got to be a strategist. You got to be a little bit of a dad, a tough mom. You got to have all those things wrapped up into one to kind of figure out. Look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was in the same draft as Baker Mayfield, right? And he bounced around and bounced around and bounced around. And sometimes the light bulb goes off a little later for some people than other people. So for me, I'm interested in seeing the youth movement. Love what they did in the draft the last 2 years. Carson Schlesinger, I always tell, in this business, always be willing to say when you're wrong. Man, listen, when they drafted Carson Schlesinger in the second round last year, I said, who the heck is Carson Schlesinger from UCLA? Who is it? Carson Schlesinger? You done wasted another pick. And then all of a sudden, I went to training camp. I pulled up and I said, oh, my goodness, who's Guile out there? guy from Street Fighter. They got Captain USA out here running through people. He's going to be a ball player. He's been a revelation. Harold Fannin Jr., my alma mater, Camp McKinley, boy, he is a dog. Bowling Green Falcon, fellow MAC East alumni. Listen, I'm all for Harold Fannin Jr. Love the way Quinshawn Junkers is running. By the way, he looks like he's more explosive than he was when he hurt. Doc, I don't understand how you get more explosive after you break your ankle. How?
You just gave me goosebumps, man. That was.
I guess he just must have had the most incredible medical team of all time.
There it is. Right. There it is. Now all we need to do now I need to figure out. I need to figure out if what's going on with Mike Hall Jr. We're gonna figure out what's going on with him. I need to figure out Malik Collins. Is you ready to play? I need to figure it out, Malik. Are we ready?
A minute, I think, but Mike Hall better be ready to start soon because he can't get these little injuries, ticky-tacky injuries, holding him back out of the system. He's gonna have he's already had a real slow start.
Yeah.
His potential. There's a point where I think as a player, you get held back from your potential year one for multiple reasons, not just the injuries, but multiple reasons he didn't get a good start year one. Cedric Tillman's the same story. Then he comes out, has problems year two. There's got to be a time where you get your stride or guys are just going to forget about you and they're going to move on.
Trust me, I was that guy. Look, I was highly rated coming out of Camp McKinley. They like, oh, we finally got us a prime. And I was like, yeah, I should be at another school. I was already, but you know what? When you have them back-to-back injuries, the first one is easy. I tore my ACL I came back. I tore my ACL. This is how old I am. Date myself. I tore my ACL my freshman year, and we were playing Phillip Rivers in NC State. Now, crazy part about it, Phillip Rivers had some snaps just last year, which is ridiculous.
He was only on his fourth kid then.
Yeah, he already had a whole family. He had a whole family. I tore my ACL, had surgery on December 13th. I then stayed rehabbed. I was ready to go. I stayed all of camp. I was ready. And then I tore my other ACL 1 week on August 19th before the Pitt game. Now think about it. That's like 8 months. Now you barely was getting back. Now you almost rehabbing both to figure out how to get everything. So the first one, you come back stronger. That second one, that's the most grueling one. It's the one where you just start questioning. You know, they're bending your knee. They're like, oh, we got to get to the 0 degrees. I'm like, man, then you start draining your knee. You got to get the swelling out. And then all of a sudden, you got the meniscus. Hey, we got to go back and clean one of them out. It's grueling. And when you doing it and trying to do it at another level, and they drafting players and getting free agents in your position, it's tough. It's tough, man.
Man, I could only imagine what that feeling is like. I watched I don't even know who it was, a Charger that came from Dallas, got his car sent over to California, and then as he was getting ready to get his car dropped off, the Chargers called him and like, yeah, we're gonna let you go. And he's like, I just played my first game with you. I did exactly what you guys wanted me to do. That's how a game could change somebody's career in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's fickle.
NFL stands for not for long, man. And you know, my one of my co-hosts, Tyvis Powell, he's played. I laugh and joke. I said, man, you didn't play for every team. You pay for the half the league. You play for 12 teams, dog. It's like you get in, you do your thing, and it's a numbers game. And a lot of it, what we talk about, and it's so difficult. That's why the uphill battle, even talking about it for Shedeur Sanders, is funny, because it's not funny, but it shows you. You believe that you're going to be in the first round. You drop to the 5th. They drafted another guy, then Dylan Gabriel, in the top 100 in the 3rd round. Mm-hmm. They go out and get Kenny Pickett, who's a former first-round pick, and then also go out and re-sign Joe Flacco, who, by the way, was the guy who helped you get to the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Folk hero around here.
Now you're looking around like he was a cult following. He had a cult following, Flacco. And now you get drafted as a 5th round pick, and you're looking like, oh, so now I got to beat all of these dudes out, including the guy who they drafted ahead of you. So it just goes to show you like how tough the NFL is. And then I think to a certain extent, he's still trying to battle the stigma, because even like Gary says, even if you can see certain throws and you're like, man, that was a hell of a throw, man, there's always that thing in the back of your mind that says, but he was a 5th round pick though. I mean, how many 5th round picks do actually turn into franchise quarterback? When I hear that more than anything in the world, because of the stigma that comes along with it. Where you're drafted comes with a perception. The perception is, if I got drafted in the 1st round, I was there for a reason. And if I stay with, and you automatically get a more of a runway, because guess what? You were drafted in a certain position. So you're fighting a 2-track system here, which is very difficult in the NFL, and it's difficult in the media a little bit too.
Speaking of a 2-track system, you have Shador fans and then you have Browns fans, and we've gotten into multiple altercations with fans of the show, obviously. And I asked them, I'm like, hey, are you a Browns fan or are you a Shador fan? And they're like, oh, well, Shador fan. Right. Okay. Well, where were you the last 26 years, 27 years as a Browns fan? We've been in quarterback purgatory pretty much since then. And once you feel what that's like, then you could talk crap about the Browns not starting Shador right off the bat.
Watch this. This is really like, this is going to really, you could clip this. I'm going to give you some insight into how that thing works and what it is, right? So I heard that a lot, and a lot of people that I work with, they would get really frustrated about that because they're in a place where the Cleveland Browns are. The thought process from their perspective is, we've been here and we've been taking L's. And we've been taking L's and swinging and missing on quarterbacks, and we done seen this before. This ain't our first rodeo, right? And I kind of compare it to when you get married into a family, right? So, hey, you get married. You've married somebody's daughter, right? And guess what? To that family, they done seen plenty of G. Bushes come and go. We've seen John and Gary and Chad and Mike, and they done seen you before. And some of them they liked, and they wish the relationship would have kept going. Some of them, they couldn't wait for him to be like, get up out of here. We didn't like him anyway. But the reality of the situation is, if you're the new guy coming in, you're not going to automatically, no one's going to fall in love with you overnight. Usually, generally speaking, when you come into a new family, they don't want you to make no dishes. They don't want you to be speaking at the table too loud. Don't get into the family arguments, and we'll see you at Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? But how it works is, hey, G. Bush, you know what? He's been here for 5 years now. Maybe a couple of places here or there, you went and you helped out Uncle Joe over here. A couple of times you picked Aunt Nancy up when she didn't have anybody. And then one day they said, hey, G. Bush, you look like you can really cook up something. Bring your brisket over. And you bring it over and everybody likes it. And you're like, wow, this is cool. And then what you realize is, after about 5 or 10 years, you're not G. Bush anymore. You're their son-in-law. They say, hey, my son-in-law is going to come over. You don't become a fan. When 2 groups of people with baggage, like Shador Sanders fans, they felt a certain way. They said, hey, we felt Shador Sanders should have been a 1st-round draft pick. And a lot of the things that they said about him were not true. And so they showed up and they were like, you know what? We're combative. We don't want no problems. We've already been told something that we felt was a lie, and we felt like we've been shaded. So we're going to be defensive. And then the Browns fans are like, well, listen, hold on now. We Cleveland Brown fans, we've been through a lot of these quarterbacks, and we went through Baker, and Deshaun was supposed to be who we said he was, and we didn't get it. We got the number 1 pick with Tim Couch, and we got some issues too. So we don't like for you to be loud. And what I tried to do is, I always said this, man. My whole goal was my goal from Jump Street. I'm brown and orange, bro. You see what I wear? I love Shador. Listen, people say, hey, Shador got to go. And I would tell them, no, We drafted him. I think he's good. We'll be okay. Send him
signed
somewhere else.
3 years, 4 years right off the bat. So
what we want to do, my job is to bridge the gap. My goal is to turn, if you watch Shedeur Sanders, I want to turn you into a Browns fan. If you represent the Browns, I want to say, hey man, this kid might play. Like he might be a future answer at quarterback. But the thing that you always got to remember is in the beginning, nobody don't turn into family immediately. You're going to have some ups, some downs. You're going to have a couple of arguments. But here's the thing. If Shedeur Sanders becomes a quarterback, like we answered before, if he can get us to the playoffs, if he can win football games, if he can become the quarterback, then guess what? It's impossible to be a Shedeur Sanders fan without being a Cleveland Browns fan. It had already happened because you're involved. You're invested now. You done seen 2 drafts. You got a new coach. Yeah, it's impossible not to be a Browns fan.
We got Denzel Boston now.
You got Denzel Boston. You got
Denzel Boston.
What you talking about? Man, listen, let him go out there. He done already beat the Bengals and the Steelers. Beat the Steelers 2 more times. I guarantee, I will say this. Sometimes you just need to let greater minds ease and let the process play out. Over time, it'll work.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm just saying, like, you're going to see so many different things on the field this year. Just that alone is so much to look forward to in itself. You're going to have a whole new coaching staff, whole new coaching scheme. There's a lot to look forward to in my eyes. And Chad likes to hate on me because this year I do have.
Y'all are so hopeful. Y'all are so hopeful, man. I'm just going to ride on to the hope train and
listen.
Come on me along.
Plenty of room.
Take me with you.
Hey, when we cut, I'm gonna tell you like this. When it listen, I'm a fool. I think the Cleveland Browns, to me, is America's team waiting to happen. We got we got the tradition, we got the history, we got the passion and the fan base. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you what. Anybody out there, we got as much in waiting as the Cowboys, the Packers. All we need, can you imagine them orange helmets on Super Bowl Sunday? Come on now.
I just think, G. Bush, we were not that far away from that dream at the time when we dropped a quarterback that the whole country kind of thought, I like that attitude, to pick up a quarterback that the whole country thought.
I mean,
I feel like we drove the train right off the tracks because I feel like people were coming around to that idea, and the leadership just like they took, and I get it, they took a swing, they took a huge chance, and it didn't work out. And I think whether it did or not, a lot of people were ready to jump ship.
Y'all want the truth?
Can I say something here real quick, G. Bush?
Go ahead.
Every year on my Facebook, when the draft comes along, you know how Facebook brings back stuff that you say.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, I get a post that comes back up from the Deshaun Watson draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, when we traded that pick, and I said on that thing, man, Deshaun Watson's going to be real expensive for the Browns to trade for a few years down the road. When we trade, I knew.
So you're talking about when they traded the pick.
When they traded the pick.
And then the Texans took him.
And the Texans took him.
Okay, you going way back. No, I remember that too. And I was upset when they passed on him as well.
And I'm reminded of it every year. Every year in the draft, I'm reminded of that. And I share it every single year. The Browns, Baker had, somebody just said it in the chat, Baker had a certain ceiling. And that certain ceiling, he had a really great first half in Tampa, but he hit that ceiling in Tampa, and he is never going to go past that ceiling. And that's it.
And
that's it. He's short. He throws interceptions. He runs to the right, and he gets hurt. That's it.
I'll tell you this. Where it all unraveled was I always had a problem. Now, Baker has his shortcomings, right? He does throw interceptions in the most inopportune times. And and he seems to only play his best football when he has everything going against him. Now, I don't know if you can be a run hot and cold like that. The issue I had with the Browns was I just think that Kevin Stefanski didn't handle it the right way. I remember saying to himself when Baker got hurt with his shoulder, I said they should sit him. Sit him, let him chill. And the problem I had with it was they didn't know whether or not they wanted to give him a max contract. And instead of just playing cooler heads, prevail, they essentially did this. Hey, you want a contract? We haven't negotiations, now you know how quarterback negotiations work. If you're good and you're the next quarterback up, what are you? You're going to be the highest paid quarterback. It's just the way it works. I don't think Dak Prescott is that good, but hey, he was up next for the contract, and there he is. Same with Goff, same with Wentz, same with all these people. When Baker got there, they was like, we have trepidation. Being the analytics department that they are, heavily leaning on those analytics, they had inconclusive information. So instead of saying sit down and then that lessening the window of opportunity to evaluate him, they said, okay, play your way into a contract. His shoulder is messed up. They literally put him out there. I remember sitting in the car against Pittsburgh, and he says, I'm going to play. That's it. And Kevin Stefanski was like, okay, you want to play? Play yourself into it. That was the beginning and the end, because he then pressed. He pressed the whole entire time, and all of the traits that we saw with the ceiling, that went out the window because he was trying to prove that he was going to get a deal. And after they did that move, and it was the writing was on the wall that, all right, well, you play bad. We need to go get another quarterback. All of a sudden it gets out that, oh, you've already spoken to Deshaun Watson. Oh, I'm done. Baker was never coming back here. It was done. So now you got this ready-made roster. You've already moved Odell Beckham Jr., right? Like that experiment missed because you're like, okay, they didn't get along. So, and by the way, Kevin Stefanski didn't manage that one well either. So then you lose Odell. He's gone. You end up now with Baker saying, I'll never come back. And by the way, he wouldn't return the Browns' calls because he was hurt by the fact that they went out and looked for another quarterback. So he was never coming back. So the Browns were painted in the corner. What do you do when you have a really expensive roster and you have a ready-to-win roster with Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, Denzel Ward, Kareem Hunt in the prime, and a top-5 offensive line? What are you going to do? Start all over with a rookie quarterback? No. Now, their thought process was, hey, let me go get a guy that we think at one point in time was a top-5 quarterback. The problem is, here's what gets dicey. They didn't think he was getting suspended for all them games. The league, they didn't know. And the thing that really hurt was he had already missed a year, right? That timing was he already missed a year because of the allegations. And he sat down and Texans and whatever. He already missed a year. Then he comes back in the preseason and they're like, okay, well, cool. They hand down a 6-game suspension. The league comes back and says, oh, no. Oh, you gave him a guaranteed contract. You already know we don't give guaranteed contracts away. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to have to sit down. And we say, well, okay, Sue Robinson, you said 6. Nuh-uh, not good enough. They gave him 11 and said he couldn't even be in the building.
That was
11
frustrating.
11 in street clothes. So now that year turned into almost 2 years of inactivity. And then that was the dagger because now Baker's gone. Jacoby Brissett, your quarterback. Deshaun Watson got the guaranteed deal. The league is totally pissed off about it. And he's been suspended for 11 games when you didn't think it was going to be that bad. And that's how we end up at the rest of the story. That's crazy. So
only in Cleveland or
only in Cleveland. That's it. Kevin Love getting his arm ripped out of his socket by Kelly Olynyk.
For sure.
Me at a national conference watching the game 1 of the New York Knicks series with everybody like patting me on the back with a couple minutes to go and trying to figure out why I'm so nervous.
Like, look, you never can really totally breathe or exhale. And it's one of those things because, it's almost like the next shoe is always going to drop. And I get why a lot of fans are a little pessimistic because, we ain't won a division since 89. Think about that. And a league built on parity. The league is built on there's a new team every year that could be good. That's what the NFL selling point is. Hey, look, the New England Patriots, hey, they were 3-something and they went to the Super Bowl. Look at this. And you're like, how does this work? But I will say this, man. The Browns got a lot of young talent. They got a lot of good young players. I think the last 2 drafts have been great. And I think that there's some promise there. And I do think that the Browns are doing a really good job of being super vague. I will say this when I read the tea leaves, and I got to be 1,000% true. I got to keep it a buck. The thing I think that the Cleveland Browns are doing is trying to rehabilitate Deshaun Watson. I think they're trying to give him a runway where his career is just not done. I think they know that he got 11 games, and I think they know that the league looked at them as the reason why we had to and Mike Florio's talked about this. They had meetings and different things about like, hey, guys, we're not giving new guaranteed contracts to quarterbacks out here. Let's be clear. Lamar Jackson won an MVP, and he didn't get one. Kyler Murray thought he was going to get a new deal, and he was going to get the Watson deal. It's not a coincidence that nobody else has got a guaranteed deal. The league has said no. I think the Cleveland Browns are trying to make it to a point where maybe Deshaun Watson does get an opportunity to play somewhere else. But if he comes out and kills it, and he's Deshaun Watson of old, they'll play him. But I think the most part, and this is just my rationale, is if you're going to start Deshaun Watson, Doc says it over here, you're going to need to soften the blow of that, right? You're going to need to kind of slow walk that, because the worst thing you can do from a business standpoint, I'm an old football guy. I don't care if he was good, play him. Like at the end of the day, the best dude won, whatever. But from a business economic standpoint and a PR standpoint, you're going to have to soften the blow a little bit, because the worst thing that you can have happen is he trots out there week 1 and the crowd is going crazy, booing and doing all kind of other stuff. So the best thing you should probably do is you should be auditioning. He should be in front of the cameras, right? Now, my question I always said to you is this: if he's legitimately going to be your starting quarterback, why have we not spoken to him? There's lots of questions that people probably want to ask more than even did. So the first OTAs, it was Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders who spoke. It's OTAs week 2. We still ain't got, people want to ask him, hey, how's your Achilles? What's going on? Do you think you should be a starting quarterback? What has the Browns told you? What do you think about Todd Monken? What's your relationship with Shedeur Sanders? All of these questions, yeah, I'm pretty sure people will ask him, knowing the local media, they're going to ask you, hey, how many cases? Have you settled all the cases? What's going on behind the scenes? Have you finished all the league mandated stuff? How does your shoulder feel? All of these are very viable questions, because you do know that quarterbacks are mandated during the regular season to talk, right? So we might want to get some of this out of the way before we get there, right?
Game 1 post-game press conference.
And that's what's crazy is if he does come out game 1, week 1, the fans, like you said, are going to boo him. That goes without a doubt. But if this guy tears it up for 5 games in a row, that's how easy it is to win love back in Cleveland for a quarterback. That's all you got to do. Win 5 competitive games, show up and show out. What I think is going to happen is Andrew Berry did say, I'm not afraid to sign anybody else again. If he shows up and shows out this year, Deshaun Watson could be signed again to the Cleveland Browns next year.
That would be the craziest ending.
Does
to this.
Deshaun Watson want to sign here again?
Ooh, now y'all cooking.
That's the question, though.
Now you cooking, because then I say it's all good when you ain't got the leverage. Right now, he like, listen, I'm just trying to play. But what happens if he does play and he plays well? If there's any semblance of Deshaun Watson is 85% of what he used to be, you got a problem. Because now you remember, always remember the context. I'm just keeping a buck with you. I'm keeping it real. Remember when he was here, he turned down the Browns the first time.
The first team off the list.
He was torn between going to Atlanta. Miami was on the list. And we look at it right now. There was up to 8-9 teams that wanted Deshaun Watson. Now it's revisionist history. He turned the Browns down. Not only did he turn them down, it was one of the first teams they turned down. And not only the only reason that switched is because he got the deal, the guarantee, the creme de la creme. I mean, this is the grandfather deal. So my question to you is, how many times did you think when he's rehabbing, and he rehabbed twice because he tore his Achilles twice, how many times do you think he probably sat back and was like, did I make the right decision? Because I'm just going by when you got a lot of time to think, and you're in rehab and you're ain't around your teammates and you're second guessing your life, you're like, if I would have just went somewhere else, maybe I should have went over here.
And
Maybe
not only that, but you
$1
can get a guy with his pedigree that's got all of these cases now in the rearview mirror. And if you can get him at 85%, so you can get him at 85% of 50 million, there's a lot of teams in the league that want a guy like that. And if you're him, and especially
for him, why not get a fresh start? Because
especially
it's always a new family that's willing to. We don't care what happened in Cleveland. We just saw what you did. You think Sam Darnold? You think people in the New York Jets? Sam Darnold don't care what the Jets talk about. Yeah, you drafted me. I wasn't no good. But guess what?
For sure.
So I mean, that's always another thing you got to take in consideration. Does he really want to be here? And is he going to re-up again and knowing that there's a certain population of the fan base that will never accept him?
For
and
sure.
And that's a big thing you got to consider.
And talking back to like the positives of Shador, you got a guy that's in Cleveland. He's in the community in Northeast Ohio. No matter how hard Deshaun Watson has tried, it has not worked here. Going back to, one of the UCSS shows in the last week, Mikey McNuggets was talking about what he witnessed coming out of one of the Cavs games.
Facts.
Deshaun's leaving the game and one of the fans coming up and doing what they did to him, yelling that stuff at him. I mean, the guy's just at a game. He's at a Cavs game. He's in Cleveland trying to enjoy something, being part of Cleveland, not bothering anybody, and fans are coming up and yelling stuff at him.
That's tough. It's a tough thing, man, because there's a human nature to it. It's a human element to it. Like, everybody, when you have mistakes in your life and you go through what you went through, and I can deal with my own mistakes. That's fine. But he's married. He's turned his life over. His mother's here. His family is here. And so you got to think about it. Like, during that whole time he's rehabbing, I mean, his family has to go through, because he's the representation of all bad things that people, how many people say, hey, it's only the Browns are in this situation because of Deshaun Watson. Now, there may be a part of the truth where, yeah, Deshaun Watson not being able to be available and being injured and being hurt and not paying dividends is part of the game. And at least Jimmy Haslam, at the point in time, he was behind the 8 ball. We just explained that. But the reality of the situation is people just want to be where they feel like they want to be loved and respected, right? And so sometimes it's better for a fresh start because it gives you an opportunity to go out there. And I've always said, to me, I don't care. I look at it like this. The thing that the Cleveland Browns have to do, and Todd Monken is mandate to do, is in football, he has to come with a blank slate. Todd Monken cannot care. He has the fiduciary responsibility to not care what happened before. He has to look at it today and say, who is going to give me the best opportunity to win. And he has to also conduct this conversation and then say, whoever comes out on top, that person needs to be respected. It's all like this. Hey, I lost. Raise my hand. He won. It is what it is. Rally behind him and let's get it done. So for me, I think Shedeur is working hard at it. I think I would say that he's going to come out on top in this. But I would say this again. If Deshaun Watson cooks, there's as a football person, I ain't got no. When you see it on the football field, there's nothing you can say about it. If he comes out in the preseason games and he's dropping dimes, all four of us got to say it. You're like, dang, he did his thing, right? But if Shedeur does it, we got to say the same thing. So it's interesting and it's kind of apprehensive and it's fun and it's exciting and it's all those things, right? Because I think they got some young energy to it, and I think that the most interesting part about it is going to be box office. Everybody in the world is going to be watching, national, local, everybody, and so we're going to see who's going to get it done.
G. Bush, I want to be respectful of your time. We were talking before. You said it got about 45 minutes to an hour. We've had you for about an hour and a half here, so I don't want to. I don't want to keep you all night.
Look, hey, listen, they was looking like, hey, dog. Is somebody telling him? Listen, I just get to talk. That's why I be saying.
I'll keep you on all night if you do.
I don't think my mind will let me in. Who are you talking to? It's Jake from State Farm.
You got to say Allstate because that's one of our sponsors.
Oh, so. There you go. Listen, like again, listen, not State Farm, Allstate. Yeah. Listen, Allstate is there. But is that the dude that he was like Allstate? Is that the dude with the deep voice?
That's the dude that gets beat up in every commercial. I know that.
Right. Listen, listen. I love when he has the big finger on. Mascot guy. Yeah.
Oh man. I want to thank you personally, man, so much for coming on tonight. We enjoyed your time. Like Gary said, we could talk to you all night. I'm sure you give plenty of insight and you speak your mind no matter what anybody else says. And I appreciate that. You stay humble, you support local. That's more than enough, man. You are a great person and we really do appreciate you coming on. And
what's before you get out of here, man, do you have anything coming up next for the Barbershop and the Barbershop franchise?
Oh man, franchise. That sounds real nice, man. I like that, man. You see what he said? Franchise. I like that. No, listen, man, we continue. We got top 5. It's a family show. I do it with my mom, my dad, my sister-in-law, and my wife runs. She's our engineer and she does all our stuff. So shout out to her. And it's just, we do top 5 lists. It's fun. It's good family conversation. We do that Sunday too. Tomorrow we got Final Cut with me, myself, Earl the Pearl, and Tyvis Powell. We'll be on at 6:00. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on. Obviously, Kenny Stan, we're gonna fix the Cavs roster, and it's a make-believe thing. And then we'll also we'll compare the last 7 games of Deshaun Watson with the 7 games that Shedeur Sanders played. We'll give a little look in context and see which one is the best. So we'll do that. And then, of course, man, you can catch me on the Bleacher Report. I do updates for the Bleacher Report. You can check me out Monday. Actually, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Friday on UCSS during the season. It will be on every single day. I'll be on with them. And then coming up, we will also, on Fridays, I do Ultimate Brown. So I'm all over the place, hanging out, doing my thing. So we appreciate you guys, showing love and having me on tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on and showing us love, man. And thank you very much, G. Bush. We appreciate you, man. You're a busy man, and you took a lot of time with us. Thank you.
I hope you appreciate the bearded bump that everybody gets after they come on our show. They get that. You probably get your name out there now.
Oh, listen, man. I am popping. Listen. In the bearded. Listen, all the hunters, all of the medical, pharmaceutical salespeople will now be ready to go. All people who watch Duck Dynasty, you guys, welcome to the Barbershop. We appreciate you.
That's the thing. We're not even hunters. I just got a double chin. You know what I mean?
Right?
So my wife likes it,
Yeah, and I'll try to, by the next time, I'll try to grow my beard in, but yeah, my side don't be growing in. It's patchy. It looks like rat fur. It's just nasty work. It's like rat fur. It's like it's gerbil fur, and it just don't be working.
Barry Shuck from Dogs by Nature came on a show one time, and he actually had a fake
Like,
beard on.
hang up like a Santa Claus, hang up over your ear.
I got a
It's not for everybody.
crazy Barry Shuck story. See, this how you know G. Bush is really independent. Barry Shuck came to my little small apartment, right? He did a Browns historian piece where he talked about the original Browns uniforms and Paul Brown. This guy is in the Hall of Very Good. He writes, this guy is a historian, and he brought his brother with him, right? And his brother came with him as his bodyguard. He had a beard. He looked like Kris Kringle, and they were both there. He still texts me to this day. And my wife made these tacos for him and his brother, and he said it was the best tacos he ever had. Crazy story.
That feels like, to a normal listener, that's probably a pretty crazy story. That feels like such a non-shocking Barry Shuck story.
So a funny story about one of our other sponsors.
Right.
Catch up. He asked for some of the. They have like 4 different kinds of bags of chips, and he asked for the bourbon barbecue bacon ones. So I sent him 4 bags of those, but I also sent that ghost pepper.
Oh,
and I sent him 2 of those, and he's like, "Don't ever send me those again." Ever.
And his voice, you know, I mean, he's been on my radio show. Shout out to Barry Shuck, man. This dude, I mean, he wrote he was like, do you know? He has these do you know stories, and it's crazy.
His idioms.
I'm like, man, he's like, did you know that the Browns only had numbers on their helmet for 1 year? I'm like, man, this dude, he's an encyclopedia, man. But shout out to Barry Shuck's Dogs by Nature. And by the way, I think it's the second big. He always makes me say it. It's the second biggest publication. It's ingrained in my head.
Yes.
See, you know I know, right? I know.
Absolutely.
So funny.
Man. It was great to have you on again, G. Bush. We appreciate you, man. And we'll definitely look forward to having you on again.
Anytime, man. Let me know, man. We'll hang out and shout out. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe button. Stop playing. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the Bearded Podcast's content. That's how it's done.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, G. Bush.
Go Browns. Go Bobcats.
Go Bobcats. Oh yeah. Shout out to the pub. Shout out to Paupers. Shout out to Cat's Eye. Shout out to CI, the Crystal. Where else you want to? Tony. Shout out to Tony's.
I think all of those still exist. You got all the ones that still exist.
Oh, ready to go, man.
And Chad's in California. He frequently visits once a year and goes there. Never comes to us.
I see he got his show. I'm trying to still work my way. You see how he got the gazebo in the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out my indoor-outdoor situation right now. You know what I'm saying? Look how he's smiling. Yeah, I can go outside, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know I'm a doctor.
Yeah, I just letting you know. Just
in California, I just surf and doctor all day.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I have meetings. I sit around in the house in uncomfortable gear. Yeah, I just had a suit jacket on today. No reason. Yeah. Just, had a couple meetings too.
Yeah, I asked the guy, "How's your arm feel?"
I was like, yeah, tennis elbow. You take a little bit of ice, you rub it here, does work for you. Get you right back on the racquetball court. It's pickleball now, though.
You heard of Flexol 454?
Oh, you guys are hilarious.
On that note, we will see you guys Saturday for the Browns Morning Brew, 10 a.m. Sorry we missed last week. A lot of stuff going on this side of the world, but we will be there this Saturday, right, Gary? Me, you.
We will be there this Saturday, man.
Let's go. Until then, everybody follow G. Bush on everything. He's on everything. He gives you plenty of insight, good words. He speaks his mind, and he sounds good when he does it. I don't know. Why can't we do that?
Hey, man, sometimes, fake it till you make it, man.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I sound great, man.
He's like, I'm nice.
I look great. Good. I sound good.
I've been doing this for ever. I'm like,
yeah, just a natural. Yes, we will see you guys Saturday. Again, thank you, G. Bush. We appreciate you, man. We will see you soon.